Here's what happens. You have made it through for the rite of passage to have this feeling like you're not good enough as an entrepreneur. It's not if, but when this feeling happens. Since starting my first business over a decade ago, I've gone through the rite of passage a few times where then I was like, I'm done. I'm tired of this. You could be in a similar situation like that. You've experienced it multiple times, or this could be your first time of experiencing this feeling like you're not good enough based off of whatever the situation is that you're dealing with right now. We'll get more into that. But I come back to the body's enemy number one, chronic stress relating to this feeling. Taking care of that so for you, you're not getting pulled by the burnout beast towards a one-way ticket to hitting burnout. And so there's going to be two ways to go about this. One will be the surface strategy to battle the burnout beast. And then the second is going to go on a deeper level, dealing with the beliefs that's causing this feeling to come up in the first place of feeling like you're not good enough as an entrepreneur. Both of them, I'm ready to get into it with you. This is Make Burnout Extinct. I'm Robert David Weeks. Thank you for being here. Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. If you haven't done it yet, you can subscribe and follow the show for the latest episodes. I'm excited for this commitment I have of sharing with you how to make burnout extinct, and realistically what it takes. To be honest with you through this show and through the conversations that we get to have together, being able to let you know that it doesn't happen overnight for making burnout extinct, but neither does hitting burnout. And so it's about understanding, or first listening and then understanding your body signals and making the adjustments on the habit level, and then deeper than that on the belief system level. So let's dive into it today for what to ask when feeling like you're not good enough as an entrepreneur. Okay, that question comes up. What I want to go through is a series of questions, and it's going to be, you're not going to have to do too much here for reflection, but it's going to require some commitment from you to take some space to reflect. And so if you want, you can find a place where you're not going to feel like you can get distracted here, because I know there's a lot of different distractions that are out there. But I want to give you that space to reflect through each of these questions. And you can think about it as an excavator that is digging into this feeling like you're not good enough. Because what I want to get through is the body signal craziness that might be happening for you, where you could feel confused, overwhelmed, doubting a lot of different things. And it just feels like this spaghetti of mess that you're having to navigate. And that can be coming up for you with this. What the excavator is going to be able to do with these questions, as we dive deeper into it, is noticing how your body responds to each one of these questions, and then what you think about for your answer to these questions. Because when I go to this feeling like I'm not good enough, a moment that comes up for me was a few years back. I had the opportunity to meet virtually two people that I consider mentors, that I really looked up to for how they're living their life as they're running their businesses, multiple businesses. And what happened at the beginning was I was so nervous to meet with them. I had that opportunity where I had to share my experience of the program that I went through. And I talked about how this program helped me to prepare to be able to get into a relationship with Adriana, my life partner. And it meant a lot. We met online through Instagram. And then she was out in California. I was out on the East Coast in Maryland. And this worked through technology, through Instagram. So I share that story, and then I had the opportunity to be able to have a call with them and ask them more questions. And at the beginning, I was so nervous and feeling so small. Like I wasn't good enough to be on the call here with these two people that I really, at the time, was putting on the pedestal, thinking they're perfect. They got it all figured out, no problems at all. And somehow they have this like magic sauce to make it all work. Then I get on the call, and Adriana, she's with me. We're able to talk with them. And I remembered right at the beginning when I got on the call, I felt overwhelmed with my emotions that were coming up. Thinking about it to the body signals, it just felt so overwhelming when I got on that call, and I felt like I lost it literally, what happened was I caught my breath. Like struggled to breathe at the beginning, and then I got settled into it. And then I started asking questions, and Adriana was coming in too and asking questions. And what I started to realize, and my nervous system was connecting to that through what I was witnessing in front of me and hearing, they were just human beings like me. They had amazing successes, and then they had challenges and problems that they were navigating. And that for a moment was this big aha moment of realizing that I had put feeling small onto myself. No one else had put that on me. I did that, of feeling like I'm not good enough to be in the same room or have a conversation with these people. And for you, it's thinking about why are you having this feeling that you're not good enough as an entrepreneur? What's the situation that's coming up for you? And then you can ask yourself, are you putting it on to yourself? Like, getting into this first question, what evidence proves that you're not good enough? And as you take a moment to reflect on that question, you don't really, it's not like preparing for a test. You don't have to like write out or memorize or go through all the different details, but just like the first few things that come up for you for each one of these questions, take a moment to sit with that. And what I want us to do together now is going to take a deep inhale through the nose. Then I want you to release it out through the mouth. You can even sigh or let out any type of sound you want, but we're going to get settled in the space. I'm going to then ask that question one more time. And then we're going to go through this process together of connecting to where you notice for the body signals pressure. Because what I want to get for you for the goal here is to get to a point where you feel open throughout your body based off the answer that comes through with the question I ask, because that can be where you can put your focus and your energy on the surface strategy, where then you can release the stress out of what I call these pressure balloons, or specifically for this one, it's the big pressure balloon of feeling like you're not good enough. That pressure balloon can build over decades. I know that, or years, let's put it that way. I know that personally. It can build over years. And so on the surface, what you want to be able to do is release that stress out of that balloon. But then you want to get to the point where you pop the balloon. And then that balloon just becomes a memory. And what happens is then your body, it opens up capacity for the body to handle more growth and to move forward in building this business for what you're wanting out of it. And then for the quality of life that the business is going to be able to support. And it's really cool. It can be difficult at first as you're going through this process. So it does take some practice and repetition, going back to building any habit. But once it happens, it becomes incredible to realize how much power you have in this area. And then more importantly, you're able to tap into more, not only courage to be able to continue to show up and build the business and move through your life and create the quality of life that you're looking for and continue to dream and then act on making that dream into a reality rather than settling. But then you tap into more of that potential within you and you open up new doorways of possibilities that you never imagined could actually have happened for your life. And that's a gift I really hope you're able to give to yourself through today. Okay, so let's bring it back to that first question. What evidence proves that you're not good enough? Just think about that first that comes to mind. It could be a skill. It could be the situation that you're dealing with where, let's say, you feel like you don't have certain skills. And so based off of either the room that you're in with other people, you just feel like you don't belong. You're not good enough to be in that room. Maybe it's feeling like you're not good enough to serve the clients in the business because you don't have that knowledge that's you feel is required to be able to show up with more confidence, to be able to serve and be there for your clients. Or it could be based off of feedback that you're getting, where it feels like then I'm not good enough because people are not resonating with what I'm sharing or it's not making sense. So then we have the communication issue there. But take this moment to reflect. And then what I want you to do, and just first thing that comes up, maybe first few things, give yourself a few seconds. But now what I want you to do is bring your awareness on down to your toes, right? Wiggle your toes. Maybe you're sitting down, standing, lying down. Wiggle your toes as best you can in this moment. And then bring your awareness up as you're thinking about your answer, bring your awareness up your legs calves, moving on up to the thighs, groin, stomach, chest, on up to the face and out. Whew. Now, reflect in this moment. Did you notice any pressure based off the answer? If you did, keep moving forward. I'm going to ask you another question. If you felt this openness, you may already have your answer. Then for what to focus on for yourself, to then release stress out. Because this openness, and you're not feeling that pressure, that's your body. That can be a signal from the body that you're on the right path, and that this feels like it feels in alignment with you. It feels truthful for you, honest for you, and so you got your next action. You already know. But if you're still feeling that pressure, I'm going to move on to the next question. Next question to ask yourself is, what is the skill that the evidence is telling you needs to improve to get better? Okay, does that make sense? What is the skill that the evidence is telling you need to improve to get better? Because you think about it, it is a skill issue. If I'm feeling like I'm not good enough, it's because I've got something that I feel I need to have, and I don't have it right now. And what is a difference there is the skill set that's going to be required to get what it is that you want or that you feel you need to have. So is that a certain amount of revenue in the month to be in that room, or to feel more confident in showing up and serving more clients? Is that needing to have better systems? Is that feeling like you need to have more safety within your body to be able to handle this growth that's happening, or to step into this unknown with the business where you have to have faith? Is it a skill set of faith there? But whatever comes to mind, or whatever comes into focus, and then let's bring our awareness on back down to the toes. So wiggle your toes, wiggle, 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 and then move on up your legs. So calves, moving up to the thighs, groin, stomach, chest. You can think about it, arms, head, and then out. You might even yawn. I'm yawning on this one. I already know my skill set. I got to work on. Okay, and then what I want you to do as an added bonus here is just swipe with your hands. Think about it with the dating app. Swipe it to the left, right? We're just going to get rid of it. Swipe left. Get that out for the reflection. And now come on back to the body. And where did you notice the pressure? Was there pressure? Was there openness? Okay, that can be your signal for next action. But noticing, was that pressure felt in the same spot? I usually can feel pressure right on my left side. That's where that comes up for me. And so I can recognize where I am holding that stress in my body. And it's right there in the left side. I feel that at times. It can move. It moves around different locations, but that can come up on the left side. This is helping for you to connect that your body signals are, your body's constantly communicating with you. And by listening and noticing, okay, this is where I feel that stress. This is where I feel the tension. This is where I feel overwhelmed, anger. When you can connect back to your body, the more you understand, less fear grows. And then by having less fear grow, then it's easier for feeling like you can move forward with momentum. And that's where this becomes, as you move through momentum, you create these wins, it feels like, and then that builds more momentum. And then it's a fun loop of growth and moving faster towards what it is you want in the business and then for your quality of life. Super fun and cool. But doesn't come with the price of hard work and putting in the reps. Doesn't happen overnight. Okay, so now that you have that, again, if it's open, if you feel open and you have an answer for a next action, okay, make a note of that. You can even move further past the rest of these questions and get to the belief work that we'll get into a little bit later. But next question, if you still have that pressure to go through, is this one. So what I want you to do is actually we're going to wiggle the toes one more time, wiggle them, bring up the awareness up the legs, bring them to calves, thighs, stomach, chest, arms up, hand, and up to the head, and then out. Whew. And then swipe left. Get out. All right. Clearing out that space. Okay. Next one for this question. What does the feeling like you're not good enough help for you? Or no. Okay. This is how I want to word it. How does the feeling like you're not good enough help you? Really take a moment to think about that. Maybe actually confusing. It might be like, well, it could help me for keeping me where I'm at because that's familiar, that feels safe. It could help me from avoiding embarrassment, from not making mistakes. Helps me to be perfect. Give yourself that few seconds. This is where we're getting deeper with the excavator. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Just does not feel right. Excavator. But yeah, you're digging deeper here, giving yourself that space, realizing you're not alone in this. And by you tapping into the courage and doing this, it's badass. It's fucking awesome. And I'm proud of you. So let's wiggle the toes now. Wiggle them, wiggle them, wiggle them. Bring them on up for the awareness to the legs, calves, thighs, stomach. I had a moment there. I'm like, what's after that? Stomach, chest, arms, on up, face, head. Whew. All right. And then swipe left. All right. Where did you notice the pressure? Same spot, different spot. Was there openness? Did you not feel any pressure? What could be then the next action that you can move forward in? Okay. So with that one, again, you can do a swipe left, get that out, make a note of it, moving along. Next one here. How does the feeling comfort you? What comes up? Bringing now your toes, awareness back down to the toes. Wiggle them, bring your awareness up at your legs, calves, thighs, stomach, chest, arms, head, and up. Ooh, I'm yawning a lot here. And swipe to the left. Whew. There you go. All right. Where did you notice the pressure now? Got one more question after this. Pressure now. Is there openness? If there's openness, what's the next action? All right. I got one more on a deeper level. And then this could be even another question to ask. I'll add a bonus one to see if that resonates. How does the feeling make you safe? A few seconds. What comes up? Makes you safe because you get to stay at the level that you're familiar with. Going back to avoiding that embarrassment, making those mistakes, looking, the worry of judgment. Not being seen, and so you don't have to be vulnerable. All right, and let's bring our awareness on back down to the toes. Wiggle the toes, wiggle them. Moves the calves up. Ooh, there you go. Legs, stomach, chest, arms, head, and up. Oh yeah, and swipe left. Get that shit out of here. All right, clearing that out. Whew. Now, did you notice any pressure? Was it in the same spot? Different spot? Openness? What's the action you can take? Here's a bonus one for you. Actually, we'll get one more swipe to the left. Get that out. This is the one that you can reflect on and just have a moment of clarity to realize how ridiculous it can be sometimes for us putting this feeling like we're not good enough as entrepreneurs. And this can help to feel like a lighthouse beaming out for your path moving forward, because it can feel there you have that uncertainty. It's hard, like you're in this dark room, you don't really know which direction to go. It just feels like a spaghetti mess. This is the question that has helped me to realize that I'm capable of this because someone else has done it before me. The question is there anyone in your industry of business that has the success you want and has been in it for more than 10 years? Honestly, reflecting on that. And then if you haven't found that person, do you know every business owner in your type of industry? Because for me, when I think about that and feel into that question, it's a yes. Yeah, of course. Industry been around for a long time that I'm in the work that I'm doing. But I try to make it way more complicated than it has to be, way more confusing. Try to overwhelm myself to not then make progress moving forward. That happens so many times with this pressure balloon of feeling like I'm not good enough. And so you now have your action. You maybe even now come back to noticing in your body, how do you feel for the body signals compared to when you first started with this conversation together? Do you notice any differences? More openness, feeling more relaxed? You might actually right now feel more tense because you're like, oh shit, you might be resonating with this and your body's realizing this is truth. And there then has to come the acceptance of this, what's been happening and the reality of it and being brutally honest with yourself. But you can absolutely face it. And it's incredible for you to even be to this point of facing it and tapping into that courage within you. Because fear will be there. It's for you to face that and move through it. So now I want to talk about how you can start the process of changing which belief is in the driver's seat that is causing that feeling in the first place to be there, that big pressure balloon to be there, of feeling like you're not good enough. The last episode I did about this dives really deep into it for the what if spirals that you can go back to. This one, I'm just going to help you to notice what's going on. So you can imagine a broken swing. Thinking back to being on the playground, there's a swing that just has one chain. And if you were to try to sit down in that seat, it'd be awkward. It'd be weird. Like you'd be going all over the place. You'd be like trying to hold on, gripping onto that one chain. And then when you try to like swing forward with momentum, it'd be awkward. And then, swinging back would be awkward too. And you'd feel stuck in the same spot. That is how you can imagine and how you can feel into your nervous system when you are navigating life with this belief that's in the driver's seat of feeling like you're not good enough. Because what happens there is with just having this belief, it's like being on a broken swing where you might try to put in new habits to move forward of, okay, I'm going to work on developing these skills. I understand I've released the pressure balloon a little bit with that stress. Now I got to work on if I feel like I want to, this is the example. I think about it in my own life. Stepping up on stage and speaking in front of a group of over 100 people for the first time. I felt so nervous, right? And that could be a moment for you if you were wanting to go speak up on stage and share your mission and message. You might feel like you're not good enough if you're in the room with other speakers. There's a bunch of other speakers that were there speaking at this event. That could be the feeling that's coming up, that you're feeling like you're not good enough. And so what happens is you might get into the habit of, okay, I'm going to step up on stage. I'm going to deliver it. I want to be seen. I want to share my voice. But then you have this feeling like you're not good enough. And so then you feel by the end of your talk, when you go up there, that you could have done so much better, that you really weren't that great. People are just telling you that you were good, but internally you weren't really good enough. And so you don't believe what people are trying to tell you, or it literally, you can experience it. People don't come up to you and you realize how bad it actually was because you felt like you weren't good enough. And so then you weren't able to tap into more of that confidence and deliver it. And then what happens is you pendulum swing back for the nervous system because you had this moment of, stepping up on stage, that's the swing moving forward. You did it, you put in the habit for the rep, but then you swing back where then you don't go back up on stage for years because it's so intense for feeling. And that's where you can get stuck in your growth. And so what's important is to add a new chain to that swing. And that is adding a new belief, because right now the belief in the driver's seat is feeling like you're not good enough. And so it's asking yourself right now, what is a new belief that you could put into the driver's seat over time, over repetitions of a habit? And that, for one, I think about is if it's relating to public speaking and I feel like I'm not good enough at public speaking or stepping up on stage, I can tell myself it's possible for me to improve my communication. It's possible for me to step up on stage. The possibility helps me to feel some connection that this could be true, right? It doesn't, I'm not saying at the beginning, if I'm just starting off with public speaking, I am going to step up on stage in front of 10,000 people and I'm going to deliver an unforgettable talk. There could be, my entire nervous system could be like, that's a fucking lie. There's no fucking way that's going to be happening right now. I can't believe it, can't attach to it. So you want to create it at a level that you have some ability to connect to that this could be something true for you. And so now it's asking yourself, you have this new chain, you're sitting in the swing, your nervous system is wanting, you feel with the nervous system, you are establishing now what is going to be the habit where the swing moves forward, where you feel momentum and you feel like you're putting in the reps to then reconfirm this new belief and get it into the driver's seat and kick out this old belief of feeling like you're not good enough. The habit could be you're going to work for 15 minutes, 5 days a week on learning new techniques in storytelling or new techniques at communication, or just putting in the repetition of practicing your stories with a friend or someone that you know, if that's a neighbor, or you can go to a group. Thinking about there's a bunch of different public speaking groups out there to help improve your skills. And so by putting in that habit and telling yourself every time you put in a rep for this habit and you celebrate, that is confirming for you that this new belief is becoming more familiar for the nervous system. And it goes back to understanding the 3 phases of habit formation. You have the awkward phase, where at the beginning for putting in the reps for this habit, it's going to be awkward to figure out your schedule for when you're going to do the 15 minutes. Are you going to go to a group, or are you going to do it with a friend, or are you just going to practice on your own? So it can get awkward at the beginning. Then you get to the angry phase, where you can notice intense resistance from the body. That's actually a signal for you and a signpost to continue to move forward, not to stop. It's giving yourself moments to rest, which is really important. Nobody's perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. But then to keep moving forward and showing up and put the reps in for your habits. You may not do it every single day, but when you get off track, you focus on getting back on track. When you put in enough repetition, it can then move to the autopilot phase for a habit. And that is where it's like a habit like brushing your teeth. You just do it. You're not thinking about it too much for energy, and you just make it happen. When you get to that phase, and you may have to go through the cycle a few times with new habits because life happens and you deal with different challenges. But when you get to the autopilot phase, that can be then for the nervous system, that new belief can become familiar, and the habit can become familiar. And when it becomes familiar, what happens is then that can become your new point of reference, or you think about it, your new baseline. And so similarly, your nervous system, it will pendulum forward with that momentum, but then it's also going to always pendulum back, where you're going to have those moments of overwhelm that can happen. You're going to have those moments of uncertainty, of feeling uncertain for the next move and the next path, because as you continue to grow, you're going into the unknown. And so when you can remind yourself it's like a swing, you're going to move forward, you're going to move backwards, but you can get to the point when the new belief is in the driver's seat and you feel like that new belief is there. It can be a moment for you to then jump off the swing and move on to the next broken swing for that next belief. And that could be up leveling the belief in this specific area or in a totally different area as you're building the business. So that's what gets exciting, is you feel like you have this momentum and you're showing yourself the evidence of shifting beliefs, old beliefs that are disempowering, that don't support you anymore, out of the driver's seat and replacing them with ones that are empowering. But that does come with repetition and consistency of focusing on the habits that are going to support the shift in the belief. And what happens is when you get old belief kicked out of the driver's seat, that pressure balloon that it represents in your body, that's like popping that pressure balloon, where then all that space opens up for more growth and being able to move forward in your life. And then what will happen is that old belief will get to a point where it feels like an old memory, past chapter in life. And that becomes so cool of a gift for a skill set of shifting your beliefs on that level. That's where you then don't have to deal with all of those questions that we just went through, because that feeling like you're not good enough has gotten to the point where the pressure balloon has been popped and it becomes a memory. And it may come back once in a while. Nobody's perfect. You will get off track, but it doesn't become so intense and overwhelming and can consume weeks in your life or multiple days in your life and gets you off track. Instead, it can be just a few seconds, a minute, maybe an hour, but with more repetitions, more of experiencing, of letting go and kicking this belief out of the driver's seat. It doesn't become as intense or as strong. So let's do another deep inhale through the nose. Release out through the mouth. I know that was intense. That was a lot. You can dive even deeper with the latest episode, or the episode before this, of the what if spirals, to dive even deeper into this, because I moved through that relatively fast. So that was intense. But it's remembering how much power you really have here and how much potential is really within you to tap into it and to go and explore what's possible for yourself as you're building this business and for your quality of life that you want to create. And if you haven't heard it yet today, I believe in you. You have the capabilities to listen to your body signals, to make those adjustments to your habits and on the deeper level, the belief system. You got this.